fantastic year where they went 9-4 overall, 5-4 in the conference, won the Guaranteed Rate Bowl versus UNLV, 9 wins, most in the program since 2007. Joining us now, head coach Lance Leipold. Coach, appreciate you joining us. We talk about the success that we saw last year. You bring so many of those pieces back. What are the expectations like as you head into 2024?
Well, the expectations have definitely changed for us, and for a good way. And the great thing about it is we have about 30 seniors, and to see those guys that have gone through the tough time and be part of this building process, I'm excited for them to have this opportunity. But again, we can, much like everyone, we can't forget what got us to this point, and making sure we take the confidence of the past season or two of success and stay grounded enough to take another step.
Speaking of exciting times to be a Jayhawk, $450 million going into your football stadium right now. Talk about that project and how excited the fans, alumni, and players are right now.
Lance, I appreciate you saying that, Brock, because Travis Goff, our athletic director, Chancellor Doug Gerard, saw the importance of really investing in football, where it's at in college athletics as a whole, and for us to not be so dependent really on our basketball program holistically, not just athletically, but as really a university. And for us to have this type of investment is definitely an exciting time, and to have that 450 is not even completing the whole stadium. So we've got more work to do, but we will have expanded facilities and so on.
Now, with the stadium renovation means you're playing outside of Lawrence for home games this year. So how do you prepare for that? How do you get your team ready?
Yeah, it's going to be different. Our first two are going to be at Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City, Kansas. It's really distance from, and as you guys know, you have a home team hotel. We're actually closer to that than we are. So that part of the travel is going to be easier, but again, a different environment. It'll be on grass. We play home games on turf, and then the 4 conference games at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. But our guys are excited when you have a chance to play where the Super Bowl champs are playing, and just like where we're at today, I think that adds excitement for our guys, and they're going to embrace it, and we're not going to use it as an excuse, that's for sure.
Coach, you're here with 2 old quarterbacks who wish they could still throw it around a little bit. You got a talented one in your building there. Tell us a little bit about Jalon and his spring in this.
Well, Jalon, it's been unfortunate, what he's kind of gone through. But I tell you, and you have a chance, I think you guys have as well, to meet the young man and to see how humble he still remains and to persevere through all of it. First of all, I'm almost like fan in that regard, is because I'm pulling for him in such a way. But when he's on the field, we're a different football team, and he's a special player, and he's done everything up to what has been put through doctors and trainers, our strength staff. Everything is on par for him to be ready to go and be under center of the first game.
We were so used to the creativity of your old OC and Andy Kotelnicki. When you were going to look for a new OC, what were you looking for? And will we see that same kind of offense that we got used to seeing out in Lawrence?
Well, yes, you're going to see the first of all, I'll start with the latter is, and that was part of the process when I met with Jeff Grimes. Jonathan Wallace, our running back coach, was a player at Auburn when Jeff was there. They knew each other. The 3 of us met in Dallas, and we started talking about some things, and it was mainly, can we continue our identity and then add something to it? I just remember, the first year that we were in Lawrence, I think Baylor was picked 9th in the conference, and they came and their starting center was Jacob Gall, who played for us at Buffalo. And I looked at what Jeff and that offensive staff did and the creativity, but yet the zone running game, things like that they were doing. I thought we'd have a good fit. Somebody that had great knowledge of really our conference and a humble guy. Andy did a great job, but I know we're excited to take another step.
Not just his Baylor days, but he was the BYU offensive coordinator at one point as well.
Absolutely. So you add the new offensive coordinator, you get your quarterback back. Devin, Neal's going to be back in the backfield. We know points are not going to be an issue for your ball club, but defense wins championships. Right. How does that side of the ball look right now?
Again, we'll have some questions. We thought Austin Booker was going to stay another year. He declared for the draft, got drafted by the Bears in the 5th round. I think we have two two of the best corners in the conference, and as a duo, I think they're the best. And so for us there, I think we again, Marvin Grant rotated at safety last year. I think he's the healthiest he's been. He's playing his best. O.J. Burrows has played. So we have experience in the back end. We've got a couple spots in the defense at the linebacker core that I think is going to rise to the occasion. We need to find a guy that's going to be consistent. It might even be through committee that's going to be the off-the-edge guy that can get us pressure. If we can answer that, I think we're going to be a very solid defense and give us a chance in every game.
And you signed a guy in DJ Warner who was the highest ranked recruit to sign with you. In your years since you've been there, how have you noticed being able to sit on a couch in a living room and say, hey, come to Kansas versus when you first got there till now?
Oh, it's definitely changed. There's people that, like I say, pick up the phone. I say, before you even get in the home, it's even different when you walk into the high school.
Answering the phone now.
They're answering the phone, and actually, even some of the high schools we walk into, it's a little different. It's not like you had to wait or something, and that's part of it.
Coach, with the ever-changing landscape of college football, how do you fill holes through the portal but still build a team and a foundation through the high school ranks? How do you view recruiting high school kids versus the portal?
Well, I think we're probably similar, Brock, to a lot of others. But now we'll have over 30 seniors, so we're going to have to get some portal help because we'll have some gaps next season. But I think you want to get yourself to a point where when your seniors are, matriculate through, you replace them with high school players. If you get an unexpected departure through a medical hardship or a portal, then you go to the portal to find that need. That's what you hope you can get to. But again, it continues to evolve each and every year for us.
I do want to touch on Devin Neal and has a chance to break the program's all-time rushing record. What has he meant to Kansas football?
Him and Jalon, 1A, 1B, what they've done for this program, what they've done for this university and community, in my opinion. But Devin took a leap of faith, and then there's a coaching change before he shows up on campus. But I think, what he's done for the community, for the program, for belief, but also just being the great person that he is. I think he's a great example in name, image, and likeness. If you do this and you do it all in the right reasons and you give back and you're visible, you can create doors that could never be thought of before. I've said to Travis Goff, our athletic director, when those two guys are done playing, I sure hope the University of Kansas finds opportunities for them to be ambassadors for years to come.
New model for the college football playoff this year. You take care of business in the Big 12. You got an automatic slot into that. Your thoughts on the change of going from 4 teams to 12.
I think it's great. I think it's going to make a lot more meaningful football games, not just in November like we talked about. They're all meaningful. And as you know, most of my earlier days were at the Division II and Division III level where there's an expanded playoff at those levels. And those games mean more because you're early in the year and this new format will play out this way because you're going to be playing for home sites. You're going to be doing some other things. And again, it gives more people an opportunity, and it should be exciting to see.
A lot of new things, including the microphones in the helmets, the tablets on the sidelines. Have you guys worked with Jalon yet on the communication in those headsets?
A little bit in the spring, we were able to get some. We were one of the few teams that did experiment it in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl in Phoenix last year, so we did get a little bit of work on it. We know where we can do more and get better, but I think it's going to be exciting and find ways to do it. We can't get overcomplicated, and I think we've got some things to work through, but I think it's going to help the game.
Coach, your program won its first bowl game last season since 2008. How did you get the Jayhawks there? What are some of those pillars and the foundations of a Coach Leipold team?
Well, I think the bowl game didn't play out this way, but, our very first year when we won only 2 games, we inherited a team as the most penalized team in the Big 12, and we ended up that year at 2-10, being the 4th least penalized team in the country. And I think by being fundamentally sound, playing the game right, it's going to give yourself a chance, even when you're trying to, maybe close talent gaps as you go. We have to be fundamentally sound, take care of the ball, do the little things right, and have a chance to create explosive plays after there.
We've talked about all, from Devin to Jalon, the names that we're used to seeing. Has there been someone in spring ball who surprised you?
Well, one stat I saw last year, I know some of these names, but our 3 returning starting receivers in Lawrence Arnold and Luke Grimm and Quentin Skinner were all in the top 50 in yards per catch last year in the nation. So with this combination of a Devin, Neal, Daniel Highshaw who backs him up at running back, when we're healthy and balanced, we have a chance to be extremely explosive in a lot of different ways. And that's what we're going to need for these guys, that we can continue to be that type of offense.
Here's what we do know. The coaches from the Sunflower State, they showed up with the suit game. You didn't borrow that one, though.
Yeah, I text, Chris sent me a text this morning. I was going to joke with him about it. I bought mine, but, yeah, I saw what he had on, and he brought his game.